Hello. Hello, 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 hello. John Beattie here, International Director of the British People's League, bringing to you Dinosaur News. Dinosaur News, produced by the British People's League. April, singing away here, April 24th, 2014 edition. Some of you on the subscriber list may have received a short 9-minute blurb earlier. It had to be deleted. The YouTube connection's just not working properly. So here we are again. Now, what we're going to do with this edition, what you receive may be cut off at the 9-minute mark, 15-minute, who knows? We'll just have to play it by ear. But better to send out something as an attempt to do my best to honor our commitment to 5 days a week than having to redo, retake, remake today's edition over and over again. It's pretty hard to keep an uplifting spirit when you have to keep correcting the technical. Plus, head cold coming on, riding the bicycle without proper headgear yesterday. I didn't have a cold all winter, but Murphy's Law at work today. Excuse me. You can see I have to wear a vest on top of the beautiful sweater knit by the Guild in Ottawa. Still, the sweaters are up for auction. This boy can't afford a full tank of oil. Just have to do a bit of a time when pension day comes in. Meantime, the electric heaters. Okay, that's the cry for today. But I repeat, if this video arrives at your computer cut off halfway through a sentence, then it just means it was screwed up. I'm doing all I can. The reconnect button. We don't have funds to pay a studio technician. So that's the usual blurb for today, bringing you the Dinosaur News, produced by the British People's League, April 24th, 2014. I'm gawping here with my jaw dropped to make sure that I've got the right day even. Into a little bit of political discourse. One of the reasons we're having trouble recruiting a lot of tough young people is because of this debate between the word nationalist and the word patriot. The word nationalist, some have twisted it and gear it towards the Second World War Axis powers. Of course, the word patriot stands for your love of your soil, your country, your nation. Excuse me. The young people showed guts, bravery, and could care less attitude. Nothing was going to scare them there in Britain last Saturday in Trafalgar Square. The edges, the peripheral of the square, hold the South African embassy. 25 young, brave, they call themselves nationalists, whereas we would call them patriots. Now, I, of course, have not the opportunity to interview the 25 young fellows. Maybe half of them are preferring the term patriot. But I venture to guess most of them prefer the term nationalist. They're in on these different internet blog shows where every announcer, every young person feels they can be a radio announcer right off the bat. Well, I guess it's no different than yours truly sitting here. I didn't take any broadcasting lessons, although I have been yapping. Prior to YouTube, there was internet radio audio, and prior to that, I was on shortwave radio and shoutcast back in the old days. So I've had a few years at it to at least try and sound not too bad. But some of the young fellas, they get on these blog shows and they feel they're Cicero ancient Roman orator. Well, at least they're trying, but sometimes it's just like these shows. If it conks at a crazy spot, sometimes nothing is better than something. Then there's those who would say the opposite, better something than nothing. So we'll find out today on the connect or not connecting YouTube. So that's a bit of philosophy that it's concerning, because we need more young people. As I have said, here locally in the village area, there's a dozen people undercover, underground. They've got jobs to maintain, and the publicity that hit us all back in 2011, they couldn't take it. Well, I couldn't take it either back then because I had a regular day job. So I had to straighten that out in order to keep my job. But now I'm free of that. I have a pension, and all I have to worry about is freezing to death in the winters. Okay, hey, I know you out there have all got your day-to-day problems too. But I guess that's my one little personal request, that I can expound on my little personal stuff day-to-day occasionally. Not very professional, but hey, I'm rolling. These are a personal rapport tied in with being International Director of the British People's League. You know by back YouTube videos that I can be pretty serious. So that's the debate on the word nationalist versus patriotism. It's still going around out there. Okay, so point 2. Yes, we're still looking for an administrative assistant. Have to be connected somehow in our circles. We can't have total strangers walking in looking at paperwork. Not looking for mice, just stopping the Mississippi River trying to drain through my nostril. Okay, so the administrative assistant, we have the premises here for an assistant. Hey, even a couple of months, no, there's no pay. There's just pocket change, but free room and board, pitching in the memory of our ancestors and the future for you younger generation. Somebody has to do it. No one else has stepped up to the plate here. Oh, there's a magazine out there for British Canadians. They claim to have 1 million readers. I wouldn't say subscribers. British Canadian, it's called. But it's soap opera stuff. You know, what's on TV and what the BBC is saying. And would you like to buy a teacup? Would you like to buy some marmalade? That's all they're about. But it'd be nice if we could skim off some of theirs. So some of you mischievous blinders there, maybe you could think of a way to get through to the advertisers of the British Canadian paper that there's an alternative, a strong alternative to stop the multicultural invasion known as the British People's League. Give it a try. Those with mischief out there. Keep it legal, of course, and nice and sweet. Okay, that's point 2 today, if we can get through it. Point 3, what's today? April 24th. Ring a bell? I doubt it. I mean, it didn't ring a bell with me. I had to look it up. 1953, April 24th. Our monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, when she was very young, bestowed knighthood upon a savior of Britain, upon Winston Churchill. He became knighted on this date, known thereafter as Sir Winston Churchill. Deserved every bit of it, of course. Churchill saved the United Kingdom and the West from Hitlerism during the Blitz by keeping the stiff upper lip, keeping the spirits up of the East Enders in London to carry on, clean up the mess each morning, bury the dead. It was his stubborn spirit that kept everything going. It would not. Or as Johnny Cash's song today being played still, won't back down. We won't back down. Churchill was hated by the Axis powers. He was hated, the most hated individual by the Axis powers, because the Axis powers knew it was Churchill's resolve to never give in that kept Britain free. Devastated, but free. Then there are those who say, well, hey, what do you got now, Beattie boy, with the Allied victory? What do you got now but a multicultural invasion? Well, excuse me, folks, but back then, during the Second World War, the white Commonwealth wanted to prevent being invaded by the swastika. There was no thoughts of a multicultural invasion at that time. Just, the average Briton did not want a swastika, a huge black swastika hanging over their country homes. It's just a way of life unacceptable to easygoing Brits. The future of multicultural invasion was not even complicated, as the white Commonwealth had to stop the Hitler invasion. Now notice I keep saying Hitler invasion, not German invasion. Thousands of Germans were against National Socialism, and they were not commies. Peaceful, loving Germans who were against isms, against Nazism, communism. The new ism, the new disease today in this century, Samenism. S-A-M-E-I-S-M. Samenism. S-A-M-E-I-S-M. Everything has to be the same. Multicultural mix of races and nice. We'll end up with a nice mild chocolate brown. All the colors of the world will disappear. We'll go into the dark times. The dark clouds. One of Hitler's orations would be handy today, that's for sure. I wish we had them today. And I met some of the Germans who were against communism, Nazism, and Samenism when I was younger. Just peaceful, loving Germans, like people everywhere. Nobody bomb the hell out of your next door neighbor. But hey, I know the American administration is guilty of that with the way they bombed the hell out of Serbia. They want to do it to Iraq and Syria, etc. Well, I leave Foreign Affairs Department with the British People's League to other people, to people on our blind list. First, we have to become a powerful lobby group. Then we can talk about the Foreign Affairs Department. As you notice, I don't talk about foreign affairs on these shows. I'm trying to stir up one-on-one connecting in the flesh to be active, to carry picket signs in the villages. Keep our villages majority white, because the villages is where it's at. That's all we've got left. We could end up boarding buses, have a dozen buses lined up in many of the villages to go right into the heart of the beast, into the city of Toronto. The cities that pick it. But we need the strength of the village lads. And they sure as hell don't want to be called Nazi or neo-Nazi any more than they want to be called Zionist or neo-Zionist, any more than they want to be called liberal or neoliberal. They're just country boys who want to keep the nice simple way of life that their families have always enjoyed. But of course we have to stop the multicultural invasion. So I've thrown a lot of curveballs at you here so far. We started out with the philosophical debate about the word nationalism versus the word patriotism. And again, that demonstration in Britain on Saturday was magnificent, strong, with 25 young fellows, sturdy, robust, picketing the South African embassy with strong signs, stop the genocide of white people in South Africa. But if I was to interview those young fellows, I'm afraid about over half of them would probably be of the nationalist bent. And they're falling for a lot of propaganda from the Axis powers during the Second World War. Excuse me. Whereas the word patriot, then you know you're talking our language, our way, our patriotic way. Love of our monarch and our way of life. Our structure with the Governor General. Who would you rather have at the head of your government? A nice noble queen or Obama? So Americans, before you criticize our queen, have a look at the head of your country. So that's the scoop. That debate, it has to be had. because the young fellows, they want excitement and they want to save their country. And those brave young lads at the National Action Group in Trafalgar Square in front of the South African Embassy. It was a magnificent video. We've got it on our Facebook link on our homepage, BritishPeoplesLeague.com homepage. It's huge. F for Facebook right there to the right. And speaking of things to the right, we've got a donate button, and we sure could appreciate some more donations. We haven't had any for over a month, or even longer than that. We sure appreciate those original donations that got us started up, very much so, that got the daily videos started up, Dinosaur News. It looks like this video is going to be a take. I don't know what else to say for today. I made the appearance, and then I can be criticized for not preparing. Well, I can tell you that it takes a lot of time with the YouTube connections often not working. It's not me, it's something on YouTube. It says reconnect, and I've got to get the studio room ready. I've got to psych myself up to be a bit optimistic, even though I start off each show crying the blues. And doing our very best. We're doing our best to keep these shows 5 days a week. And I would like some plug information from the blinders there as to what else they would like to hear discussed on the shows. I think our blinders are satisfied. Nobody's pulled out and nobody's criticized my choice of topics. So I think I keep on topic what's needed. I'm going to look for mice again for a moment. Excuse me. I can blame Sambo the cat if I get a cold. I had a cat food yesterday, riding the bicycle without proper headgear on, so it's the cat's fault. Don't men always do that? Blame the cat or a woman? Well, I can't think of anything else to add for today's show. I've probably thrown enough controversy out there as it is between the word patriot and the word nationalist. And the very fact that I'm bragging about Sir Winston Churchill receiving his knighthood by Queen Elizabeth II in 1953 on April 24th, well, that's going to stir up a lot of people as well. I hope that some of Churchill's stubbornness rubs off on me in that I just keep on going. No, I never intend to pack it in, but I get very frustrated with the technical aspects, and that's why we would appreciate a helper. Come on up for 10 weeks or so. Email us at britishcanada@gmail.com, britishcanada@gmail.com. And do think of the donate button, because we're the only game in town. It's not a game, but we're it. There's no one else standing up as we are, the British People's League, and our few friends out there on the blind list, blind copy list. And if you'd like in on our special bulletins, our Inner Circle bulletins, well, get to know us. Start off by corresponding through britishcanada@gmail.com, britishcanada@gmail.com. We'll answer you. And then after we get to know you, then you'll get in our list. Okay, so that's it for today. The Dinosaur News. And you can see why we chose the word dinosaur, because I do grow a lot. I'll try and do a better job for you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in as always. Goodbye for now.